other than the one. I'm going to slip my arm around Dave's neck, put my elbow all the way on the ground, put my palm all the way on the ground, and then what I'm going to do is when I have him here, is then I'm going to do like a one-arm push-up. Okay? The one-arm push-up is essentially the choke. It's shoulder to wrist, just like you were talking about in there. But a learning tool that people can use is Dave is going to make like a humming sound fairly loud so that literally I can hear when everything is closing off. This is because this choke specifically is what I refer to as a blind choke. I can't see everything that's going on. So if he gives me a response like a hum or something of that nature, then like I can play hot and cold. I can chase the sound. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to put my pressure in. I'm going to do it correctly. And then I'm going to put my pressure in and play with it so you can hear how his voice. So I'll do one what most people do where they push forward instead of down, and you'll hear the change in the voice. So first piece I do is arm deep and around, ear to ear. I'm just going to post my foot out like me on belly and put my hand behind my back. And Dave's going to start to hum. And then I'm going to lean shoulder to wrist. Okay. So that would be the correct version. Now I'm going to do it incorrectly, like a lot of people will, where they'll start pushing more forward as opposed to down. Okay. So when my arm goes in and I'm here, and I go ear to ear, so elbow to the floor is one of our telltale signs. As soon as my elbow starts to come up, I know my weight's shifting that direction and not down. Same thing, if I start pushing forward, it'll lift his chin. So as Dave starts to hum, if I go forward, it's uncomfortable. If I go this way, okay. But if I go down, if I make sure my shoulder goes down into my hand, then we get a much tighter choke. And again, it's a tool that people can use. It's silly, but it helps out quite a bit because then people can get live feedback from their partner as far as when it's working, when it's not working, not just when the tap happens. All right, we're gonna go over a way. This is my favorite way of doing the head-arm triangle now. It originates for me from mount most often, although it can start from side control or wherever you get it. The biggest part is lots of people step off to the side. I do too. I just do it way later than everybody else, if I even have to. Once I've started doing this variation, I tap out almost everybody with this variation now. But again, it's all about the squeeze of the shoulder going down. So I go to mount. I'm in position. I get my hand under his head. I start to feed and I get him in play. I drop my head. We readjust if we have to. I like S grip on my hands. Now through here, when I go to set my squeeze, and again, Dave's going to assist me with just doing the hum, that what I do now is I straighten out my right leg, the side on the choking side, and all I'm going to do is literally lay down next to Dave, like a lazy mount, okay? And then that's where my choke's going to go. So he's going to start to hum. Okay, and this is where my choke sets in now. So now I will stay there literally for as long as possible. I'll go off. You see how my leg is hooked on his. Head down, my shoulder is compressing in. If he turns into me to try to escape, that's when my foot comes over and then I'll shift. But I can honestly say I only have to step out maybe less than 10% of the time. Almost all the time. I get the head-arm triangle from the like little sideways mount position. And the only thing it really gives them that they're left with is doing arm defenses like answer the phone, which is crap. Answer the phone doesn't get you out. It just puts time on the clock. 3 seconds. For 3, if that. And once you're used to it, you can go through answer the phone pretty easy. So the defense, we'll do a different video on the defense that I like to put. Because like I said, answer the phone usually doesn't work, especially as the guys get bigger. And then Christian likes one where the leg comes up, you reach up and you grab it. But if I'm doing a sideways mount, he can't do that version. So go ahead and click it.
You're going.
I got you later. Okay, we're going?
Yep.
All right, so from here, Dave's going to go classic head arm, so step all the way off. And a lot of people from here, they go, oh, answer the phone. Okay, answer the phone. And then they press sideways with their elbow like this. And in most cases, they go, see, it's working. But then Dave's like, I'm strong. And he just fucking squeezes right through it. Starts popping your neck. Okay, or he goes crank call. So as soon as I bring my hand in, he grabs my wrist. Now through here, to accentuate the crank call, once he's got a hold of it, drop your head to the floor and pull my hand over your head. Okay? Now, I like to do what I call, we go crank call, then we go hang up the phone. So I go to answer the phone, he goes crank call, I try to fight, and all he does is shoves my arm back over my face, and then he goes right back to his choke. Because ultimately speaking, answer the phone doesn't get you out. It's not a defense. It just puts time on the clock. Okay? And when the other person knows how to stuff it, it like hardly ever works. Okay? So what I prefer to do is through here is I try to use my elbow to create space between him and I. And if I need to, I reinforce by holding on to my own hand. Okay? And then through here we push. The gap right here is already enough. So when I hit here, then I turn and throw my elbow over the top. Okay? The earlier we go, the better. Through here, literally, act like you're going to elbow him in the back of the head. Drive your elbow. Ooh, he's pretty strong. Reinforce it. Turn your body. Okay? Then go up and over, and then you can make your escape. Okay? When we act like we're going to elbow in the back of the head, it actually puts us into a position when we're this way. Okay, how strong are you flaring your elbow out this way? You're like, oh, I'm pretty strong, bro. Go in the gym. Tell me what numbers you put up. I guarantee you they're pretty low. Now go to the gym and throw an elbow backwards. Okay, that's going to be a lot more powerful, and it's going to create a gap because when I'm here and I try to flare out, now the problem is I still have to free up my arm. In most cases, people will think that answer the phone works simply because the other guy's impatient and doesn't want to wait the extra amount of time or doesn't want to put a squeeze on that's large enough to start making your neck pop. And in that case, then he's like, oh, I feel bad because it was more of a neck crank. Well, I don't care about the neck crank. It's your neck, it's not mine. Okay, when you answer the phone, I squeeze, your neck starts to pop, you're going to tap. And eventually that choke's going to set in and it's going to get pretty nasty. So we get the benefits of answer the phone without trapping ourselves and giving them the shoulder lock by elbowing into the back of the head and then rotating to hit the pocket.